All right, let's settle in. Over the past few days, Nigeria has once again been hit by a wave of violence. Coordinated attacks have been going on across Benue, Kaduna, Borno, and have left at least 26 people dead. Civilians, security personnel as well. People who woke up that morning not knowing it would be their last. And to make it clear, this isn't just another headline, it's people's family members, fathers, daughters, mothers, entire futures wiped out in just seconds. Now, if this was a one off, maybe we would react more and move on, but it's not a one off. It's happening way too often. And that's where the frustration is coming from. That's when it sets in because while these attacks happen, Nigerians are also being told that security is improving. How? That things are under control and that progress is being made. Now, but for many people in different parts of Nigeria, especially in the parts where the attacks are happening, that does not match with reality. Communities are living with tension every single day. Fear is not just an abstract compact, it's not just an abstract thing, it is a part of daily life. People are watching their backs, questioning every movement, wondering if they could be next. So naturally, voices are rising. Peter Obi came out with this criticism of the government's handling of insecurity, pointing out that the obvious gap between official statements and what Nigerians are actually experiencing are widening. And whether you agree with him politically or not, that is hard to ignore because this is bigger than just party lines. Oof. It's more about safety. Now, this is about whether or not a farmer can come back alive when he goes to his farm, whether or not a traveler can move from one state to another, and whether or not a child can sleep at night without the sound of gunfire in the distance. And right now, too many Nigerians would answer no to those questions, and that's not a good thing. Which brings us to the man at the center of it all, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Pressure is mounting not just from opposition figures, but from everyday Nigerians who are tired, sick and tired of the headlines, tired of hearing the same promises repeated over and over again. At some point, people stop listening to what you say and start judging you by what changes. And right now, people are looking for change which they can see, hear, feel, not statistics, not press releases, and not briefings. They want real, visible improvements. Now, in the middle of all of this, something else happened. Something completely different. Let's talk about the good times. In Lagos, thousands of people have gathered for the Fanti Carnival, a celebration of Afro Brazilian heritage, color, culture, music, and life. And it's beautiful. And that's also because it's in Nigeria. This is a country that refuses to stop living even in the face of serious challenges. A country where at the same time people are mourning in one region, others are dancing, celebrating with joy in another region. The contrast is powerful, but it also raises a question. How long can a country balance these two realities? How long can celebration and tragedy exist side by side before something gives? Make no mistake, the number one issue right now in Nigeria is security. Not politics, not elections, not even the economy. It's security. Because without that, nothing else works. You can't build, you can't invest, you can't plan, you can't live freely. Everything else just becomes secondary. So, this is where we are. This is where we find ourselves as a nation dealing with losses, a nation under pressure, a population demanding answers, and a reality that no longer can be softened with words. No distractions, no fake narratives, just the facts and the weight that comes with them. Thanks for watching. Let's continue, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nigeria. Welcome to the series. The plot twists are free, the consequences are premium. Let's start in Delta State, where police arrested four people, recovered illicit drugs from these four people, but just four. But you know what? In this country, if you throw a stone in some places, it might hit a politician, or a preacher, or a supplier. That's right. There's very low enforcement. So yeah, they all get through. Meanwhile, I've heard that doctors have gone on strike again. That's our favorite national tradition after fuel scarcity, that is. The doctors say they've been owed arrears and the government is saying they're working on it. And of course, people say God is in control. At this point, if you feel sick, you're on your own. Now, the Nigerian Civil and Security Defense Corps has said Nigerians should calm down about them escorting VIPs. Calm down? Why? The very important people have more security than the very alive but poor people. And at this point, police escorts just start moving around like they have a convoy mindset. Now, here's another really juicy story. The European Union says Nigeria wastes 38 million tons of food annually. That's a lot. That's not waste, that's a full blown catastrophe. On one side, farmers are crying, on the other side, tomatoes are rotting. And somewhere in between, a government committee is forming a subcommittee to look into the committee that will eventually discuss it. You get that? Now, let's talk about press freedom. The Nigerian Union of Journalists has condemned the comments by Nyesom Wike, apparently threatening journalists is now part of public discourse. In Nigeria, if you ask the wrong question, they won't dodge it, they'll dodge you. And across the Atlantic, a similar thing has happened. Donald Trump, Uncle Donnie, is threatening jail time for a reporter. You see, journalism worldwide is high risk. It's a intensity, high risk sport. Pretty soon, instead of press badges, journalists will need bulletproof vests and legal insurance. Now, here's a funny one. A report says Nigeria is no longer dependent on oil revenue. I'm sorry, who wrote that? Because Nigeria without oil is like jollof rice without oil. Technically possible, but spiritually unacceptable. So let's not lie to ourselves in high definition. Over to football. I think the number one sport in many parts of the world, including this one. Now, um, the Confederation of African Football president, the CAF president, is heading to Senegal after that controversial AFCON verdict. Um, AFCON is where the real drama is, not just on the pitch, but in the boardrooms, online, and of course, it has to do with national pride. I just hope that Patrice Motsepe does not get stoned when he goes to Senegal. I personally wouldn't guarantee his safety from rotten eggs and tomatoes from the Senegalese people, at the very least. Okay, the Federal Road Safety Corps has recovered a stolen vehicle after 3 years. 3 whole years. That car has seen more of Nigeria than most NYSC people who travel from one point to the other. At this point, the car should be giving a testimony. I was lost, but now I am found, the car says. And finally, before we wrap this up, 500 groups. Did you hear that again? Let me repeat it. 500 groups are backing Bola Ahmed Tinubu and others for second terms. At this point, I'm convinced that if you gather three Nigerians and one as WhatsApp group, you can form an association and endorse someone. And in conclusion, Nigeria is never boring, never has been, never will be. It's a place where absurdity and reality are in a committed relationship, and neither is planning to leave anytime soon. So stay safe, stay informed, and more importantly, stay entertained. This is Nigeria, and we have no intention of slowing down. LD all day. If you like my little monologue, you can check it out tomorrow. I'll be doing this every weekday. Give me a like, give me some love, and by all means, subscribe to my channel. See ya!